There is a silent, invisible conflict happening in your nursery right now, and most parents don't even know they are fighting it. On one side, you have millions of years of human biological evolution designed to develop a baby through struggle, gravity, and touch. On the other side, you have a $67 billion baby industry pitching you a very specific lie, that convenience equals care. But the medical community is finally pushing back. In fact, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the highest medical authority in the land, recently took an unprecedented step. They didn't just issue a polite warning label, they called for a complete, total federal ban on a product that is likely sitting in your garage or basement right now. We are currently raising the most equipped generation of infants in history. We have gadgets to rock them, molded foam to sit them up, and wheels to help them move before they are ready. Yet, pediatric clinics are seeing a massive spike in physical delays and sensory processing issues. Why? Because we have accidentally engineered the necessary struggle out of childhood. Today, we aren't just going to list bad products, we are going to perform a biological audit of your home. We are going to look at the 3 specific systems, vestibular, skeletal, and sensory, that modern gear is actively dismantling. By the end of this video, you will understand why convenience is often just a fancy marketing word for muscle atrophy. Let's begin with the item that doctors want gone, the anti-gravity trap. For a human infant, gravity is the first and most important teacher. Every time a baby lies on the floor and tries to lift their heavy head, they are fighting gravity to build their vestibular system. But the baby industry hates the floor. They want you to buy the vertical prop, baby walkers. Marketing tells you these tools help babies practice walking. But let's look at the hard data. A landmark study of 190 infants found a direct, undeniable correlation. Babies who used walkers learned to walk significantly later, about 3 to 4 weeks behind their peers, compared to those who didn't. Why does this happen? It seems counterintuitive, but biomechanically, the walker teaches failure. When you lock a baby into a walker, you hold their hips in a suspended state. They don't have to engage their core to stay upright. They don't have to balance. Instead of walking heel to toe, which is the human standard, they learn to scoot around on their tiptoes. This sends the wrong data to the developing brain, a process called maladaptive plasticity. The brain thinks, I don't need to use my glutes or my abs to stand up. The machine does it for me. It's like trying to learn how to squat while suspended in a harness. You aren't building functional strength, you're building a dependency. When you finally take them out of the device, they often collapse because the real world has gravity and they haven't spent enough time fighting it. And beyond the biology, there is the safety nightmare that led to the call for a ban. A walker gives an 8-year-old the speed of a sprinter before they have the judgment to stop. Suddenly, hot stoves and open staircases are within reach. So the first audit is simple. Respect the floor. The floor is the gym. If they're frustrated on their tummy, that frustration is the muscle-building signal. Don't steal the struggle. This leads us directly into the second biological failure, the static spine crisis. A baby's spine is incredibly moldable. It starts as a simple C-curve and eventually develops the S-curve that allows us to stand upright. This transformation happens through dynamic movement, rolling, twisting, and side bending. But modern gear is all about immobilization. Physical therapists have a name for this, container baby syndrome. We see this with molded foam seats like the bumbo and rigid rockers. When you place a 4-month-old baby in a rigid foam seat before they can sit independently, you're essentially casting them in cement. You're locking their hips and forcing their spine to bear weight it isn't physiologically ready for. Gravity pushes down on their tiny body, and because their muscles are weak, their spine takes the hit. It compresses.
We are now seeing toddlers with weak pelvic floors and poor posture simply because they spent their critical molding months stuck in a bucket. Think about it. If I put you in a body cast that held you upright but relaxed your muscles, you would get weaker, not stronger. That's what these seats do. So what's the fix? It's free. It's the floor. Let your baby figure out the tripod sit, where they lean forward on one hand for support. Let them wobble. Let them tip over. When they finally sit up tall, hands free, looking proud, it will be because their body built the foundation to support it. And this container issue extends to the third item in our audit: infant sleep positioners and pods. You see them all over social media, the Amazon DACA tot style loungers that look like little clouds. But I need you to hear this loud and clear. The American Academy of Pediatrics, the highest medical authority in the land, states unequivocally that these are a suffocation hazard for sleep. Babies need a specific sleep environment: firm, flat, bare. Soft sides create pockets where carbon dioxide can get trapped. If a baby rolls their face against that plush bumper, they can re-breathe their own air, which is a silent tragedy waiting to happen. But beyond the immediate safety risk, there's a developmental cost too. Babies are meant to move in their sleep. They wiggle, they arch their backs, they kick their legs. That nighttime movement is actually micro-exercise. It strengthens their neck and spine. These pods pin them in place. They restrict that natural range of motion. They create a deficit in proprioception, the body's ability to know where it is in space. If a baby is always hugged by foam, they never learn to self-soothe by finding a comfortable position on a flat surface. I know, a bare crib looks stark. It looks uncomfortable to us adults who love pillows. But to a baby, that firm mattress is a safe gym where they can breathe freely and grow safely. Please do not trade safety for an aesthetic photo. It is never worth the risk.
Now, we need to move from the body to the brain. We need to discuss the most controversial element of modern parenting: the screen. You might think a tablet app teaching A for Apple is educational. It has bright colors, catchy songs, and smiling characters. But researchers have a name for what is actually happening in a baby's brain: the video deficit effect. To a developing brain under 2 years old, a screen is essentially a hallucination. It creates light and sound, but it lacks depth, smell, texture, and consequence. Think about the physics of the real world. If a child throws a wooden block on the floor, there is a loud bang. They feel the weight leave their hand. They see it bounce. That is physics. That is cause and effect. But if a child taps a digital block on an iPad, nothing physically happens. The glass feels the same. The weight doesn't change. When we replace 3D toys with 2D screens, we create a massive sensory mismatch. The eyes are seeing high-stakes excitement, explosions, chases, fast cuts, but the body is sitting perfectly still. This mismatch spikes cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. That zombie stare you see when a child is glued to a tablet, that isn't deep focus. That isn't concentration. That is the brain checking out because it is chemically overwhelmed. It is a defense mechanism. Real learning lives in the serve and return, the human connection, where you smile and they smile back. Screens break that loop. But there is a secondary danger to screens that we rarely talk about: the death of boredom. In our modern world, we treat boredom like a disease. As soon as a child fusses or looks unoccupied, we shove a device in their face to pacify them. But biologically, boredom is not a defect. Boredom is the birthplace of imagination. When a child is bored, their brain is forced to look inward. They have to pick up a stick and pretend it is a sword. They have to stare at the ceiling and invent a story.
When we constantly fill that silence with digital noise, we rob them of the ability to create their own fun. We are training them to be consumers of content rather than creators of the world. And this disconnection extends to the toy box, specifically noisy toys. You know the ones, the battery-operated gadgets that beep, flash, and sing the alphabet. We think these are teaching our kids, but studies have found that these toys disrupt the social loop. When a toy talks, the parent stops talking. Research shows that parents speak roughly 40% less to their children when an electronic toy is present compared to a traditional toy like blocks. That silence, that is where the vocabulary gap begins. The best toys are 90% child and 10% toy. Blocks, cups, balls, things that do nothing until the child makes them do something. That's where the brain grows. We often forget that eating is also a physical activity. It's the gym for the mouth. This brings us to the rise of the food pouch. It's the ultimate convenience item. No mess, no prep, perfectly portioned. But biologically, if used as a lifestyle, it leads to two distinct problems. First is oral motor atrophy. Chewing requires a complex coordination of the jaw, tongue, and lips, the exact same machinery needed for clear speech. Here's the mechanics of it. When a child sucks puree from a nozzle, the tongue thrusts forward. This is an infantile movement. But when a child chews a piece of broccoli or a cracker, the tongue must move laterally, side to side, to manipulate the food to the molars. That lateral tongue reflex is critical for articulating complex sounds later in life. If we keep them on the pouch for too long, we keep their mouth in baby mode. The second problem with pouches is the loss of the pincer grasp. One of the most critical milestones for a baby is learning to pick up small pieces of food using their thumb and forefinger. This fine motor skill is the precursor to holding a pencil, buttoning a shirt, or tying shoelaces. When we hand them a smooth plastic pouch, we rob them of hundreds of daily opportunities to practice this dexterity. The upgrade here is texture, handheld food, messy faces. It's not just about nutrition, it's about mechanical training for the jaw and the hands. Finally, we have to talk about the mechanical trap of soothing. We have outsourced comfort to machines, vibrating chairs, robotic swings, and white noise machines that run 24/7. We're replacing co-regulation, connection with a human, with auto-regulation, connection with a machine. A baby calms down in your arms because their heartbeat syncs with yours. They borrow your calm. They feel your breathing slow down. This is how they learn to self-soothe later in life. If they only calm down because a motor is vibrating them at a constant frequency, they're not connecting with a parent. They're connecting with a robot. It works in the short term to get you a break, and that's fine. But if it becomes the only way they sleep, it creates a long-term dependency. You need to be the thermostat. Your calm regulates their storm. Use the machine for a bathroom break, but don't let it become the parent. Before we wrap up, I want to address the feeling that is probably rising in your chest right now, the industrialized guilt trap. As you listen to this audit, maybe you looked at the walker in the corner or the pouch in your hand and felt a pang of panic. You thought, have I already messed up? Is it too late? I need you to listen to me very closely. You are not the problem. The modern parenting industry is designed to engineer anxiety. They create a problem you didn't know you had to sell you a plastic solution you don't actually need. They rely on the comparison trap, showing you images of perfect nurseries and advanced babies to make you feel inadequate. But human development is robust. Babies are anti-fragile. Throughout history, babies were raised in caves, in huts, and in castles without ergonomic sleep pods or electronic tutors, and they learned to walk, speak, and connect. Why? because the only essential ingredient for development is you. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, is at its peak right now. So if you ditch the walker today, the brain starts correcting the movement patterns tomorrow. If you turn off the screen today, the attention span starts healing tomorrow. It is never, ever too late. So look around your home. You don't have to throw everything away. Just change the ratio. More floor, less bucket. More silence, less noise. More messy hands, less plastic pouches. Trust that your baby is built to do hard things. They just need the space to prove it. This is Happy Hearts Academy, where we trust biology over business. If this new perspective helped you, hit subscribe. We're just getting started.